Hi there, it's Ed Ladbroke here, and I'm so excited to be able to do this training for you, which is called It's Time to Get Serious About Discovery Sponsoring. You should have already watched the training on the 30-day challenge. You should understand that you can master this skill, but you need to learn how to do it. And the first thing in the learning process of the ABC is you need to be aware of how it works. And that's what this training is going to do. It's going to help you understand the big picture of discovery sponsoring, to give you the confidence to know, hey, I can really do this. Now, I'm going to ask you to do something at the end of this training, and you have to do it. I'm going to tell you now, you've got to do what I ask you to do. Otherwise, I want you to just give it up. Ask your money back. I don't want you to take it any further, because if you don't do that, you won't learn it. You won't master this way of sponsoring people. And this approach works for everyone. That's the power of it, that everyone can master this, but you got to do some of the things that I ask you to do. Now, this training is longer than the other trainings. The other trainings are normally cut into small parts to make it easier for you to understand. Now, I want this one to be one big chunk of training, because I want you to sit down and watch the whole lot, because it's important that you know what I'm going to tell you. Now, everything in this training is covered in detail, intense detail, throughout the whole training program, because what I want you to be so clear about is the process of sponsoring is a very simple, natural concept. And what gives you the power to sponsor people is the confidence that you have. It's not the words, it's not in the scripts, it's not in the special tools. It's the confidence that you have in your eyes and in your heart and in your voice that tells people that they are making the right decision, that they want to take whatever step is required. That is the key. And when you get that, you'll understand the key is you learning the knowledge, the what, the why, the how. Okay? And when you have that knowledge, which you can learn so simply, that is all trained on this training program, it'll make your ability to talk to people in your way, and when you meet them, whether it's at a supermarket or a dinner party or giving them a call or on Skype, it doesn't matter. The point is that you need to be armed with that what and how and why. And that's what it'll give you. And this training will give you a sort of big picture view to help you maybe go out right now and take some action. I hope you do that. Okay, so let's get right into it. The fact is that the whole reason why people don't get serious about sponsoring is simply that they lack the confidence to do that. Now, we need to understand how network marketing works, and well, it grows through what we call momentum. It's momentum growth. It's when it grows without you, when the 3 get 9, get 27, get 243, get 729. You can't sponsor 243 people, but through momentum, your organization will grow. But it'll only happen through people sponsoring business builders. So it's not just based on you being able to sponsor. Your organization needs to be able to sponsor, and people don't get serious because they don't have the confidence that their people can do it. Okay? That's the issue. They don't have the confidence that their people can be successful. How many people would you sponsor if you knew they could succeed? The answer is everyone. So that's what we will need to do, is to have the confidence, because our business is based on the principle of earning from a lot of people doing a little bit. So we must have lots of people sponsoring. And the reality is now that the vast majority of people don't sponsor anyone. They don't sponsor enough people, or they sponsor so badly that their people quit. Just the ability of most people to sponsor business builders, it just doesn't exist. And so the reality is that my estimation is that basically 98% of people can't do that. Okay, in fact, if you say, how do you sponsor business builders? It's a big screen. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to help you understand why everyone can now sponsor. And with that knowledge, I want you to have confidence that you can get whatever you want out of the business. That's the power of what you now have in your hands. But you need to understand how it works, okay? And it all starts with the basics of, what is the purpose of sponsoring? Now, I'm going to give you a little bit of history because there are a lot of people who have been involved in the business before, and they're going to hit this training program and they'll think they know the answers because they've been told things which they've thought are total facts about the way things are. And I need to challenge some of those beliefs. If you're brand new, you're lucky. Don't worry about what I'm saying. Just use it as useful knowledge when other people are saying, hey, the business doesn't work. And you go, hey, yes, it does, because we've evolved what we've done. Because in the old days, the purpose of sponsoring was the simple act of bringing new people into the business. So if you're talking about sponsoring or recruiting, everyone's saying, oh, well, it's just a matter of, just get them in the business, sign them up. And the reason they thought that, because to be successful as a company, what happens is when we were establishing the industry, and you've got to understand that this sort of industry started in sort of 49, okay, so it's like 60 odd years ago. So depending on the country that you live in, okay, it'll be anything from 10 to 60 years old. All right, but to pioneer and establish the industry, what companies had to do was to attract what I call pioneer entrepreneurs. And these are people who can take a product, a business, a system, and go out there and create a new business, a new industry. And the challenge is, as you can read, that sort of 2% of everyone is a pioneer entrepreneur. We don't know who they are. You can't interview for them. And when they join, they don't really need support. So the whole system was designed for these guys, okay? And so what that means is that what do you have to do? You just need to recruit. So you sponsor as many people as you possibly can, what we call throwing the mud against the wall or throwing the spaghetti against the wall, and seeing which people will then take action. Because that was the way you found a pioneer entrepreneur. Okay, and you didn't really support them very much. That's why they were a pioneer entrepreneur. And the challenge is that if that's what you ask people to do, if the role of sponsoring is just, hey, you just need to recruit a whole lot of people and present the business to them and just see the way it works, the reality is that sponsoring strategy does not work for 98% of people. And therefore, what it means is that if you're trying to build a network, you cannot tap into a lot of people taking a little bit of action, because the most people can't take any action, because they just don't have the confidence that can work for them. And that's why when you look at network marketing or talk to people about network marketing, so many of the public say, oh, it doesn't work, or oh, it's pyramid selling, or you got to get it at the start, or the only top people make the money. And the reason is because fundamental to the whole sponsoring process was the requirement of everyone to be able to just recruit a whole lot of people to see whether you could find these pioneer entrepreneurs. And the reality is very few people are able to do that. And so what we need to understand is that we needed to do that to pioneer the industry, and now things need to change. And that's what I've had to do, because I'm the sort of specialist in industry strategy. So I said, well, hey, how do we change? So you look at the principles and philosophies, and what happens is you come up with a different strategy because you have a different philosophy. And that's why it's so important that you understand the philosophies and principles behind this discovery sponsoring. Because I don't want you learning a whole lot of scripts and words to go and say to people, because you'll never use them, because no one ever uses them. You need to just understand the way it works so you can just talk to people in the way you normally talk with people when you're excited, and they'll see in your eyes that the business has changed and that they can do it, and that they should look to see whether they should get involved in what you're doing. Because our companies, our products, our people are fantastic. It's just we needed to evolve the strategy. We needed that old, pioneer strategy to get started. Now we don't, because we're a successful industry. And so the first thing you need to understand about sponsoring in the future is this, is that one in four, 25% of everyone in society has a specific need, an empowering need, okay, which needs a financial solution. So whether it's I need to leave my job, or hey, I need a new income. Hey, I can't afford my life, I need another income. I'm worried about my pension, I need another income. I can't find the sort of job or employment I want, I need another income. I'm stressed out about life because, I can't, I don't know what's happening in your relationships. You understand what I mean. That it needs a financial solution. Now, our business does not suit everyone, but it does suit 1 in 4 people. And this is my research. I believe it's like 1 in 4. Now, hey, they say 95% of people have financial needs. Okay, so I'm not talking about the majority of people. I'm talking 1 in 4, which is still a huge number of people. But the fact is that they have the need, we have the opportunity. So fundamentally, sponsoring should be easy. I think it's just us that's complicated it. And what we need to understand is, what are we really offering people, and therefore how should we offer that opportunity to people? And what you need to understand is that successful network, 1 gets 3 gets 9 gets 27 gets lots of people. Okay, what you have is lots of numbers, and you get the numbers through momentum. But success is not just numbers, it's got to be residual. So what's required is that you develop independent leaders. Okay, so the goal is a 6-figure residual income. Everyone can achieve that because everyone can create momentum, because that whole process of creating momentum and then developing people, so the basic skills and then the leadership skills can be learnt by everyone. And I know that because I'm the specialist in this area. Okay, so those skills can be mastered by everyone. And if we master them and take action, we get the result. Now, what we need to appreciate, though, is to create momentum. You've actually got to overcome a whole lot of negative environments, and you've got to actually get the whole business going. You can imagine if you were starting a shop, you would spend the first year in the shop, getting everything going, getting the salespeople going, get the customer going, get the brand, get everything moving in your shop. And that's the same as our business. We just got to have this period of approximately 12 months. I call it the takeoff, where you need to take massive urgent action. And every successful person in network marketing, in every company, in every country, has had this period of 12 months or so where they took massive urgent action, where they prioritized the business in their life. Obviously, if you have to go to a job, you do that. You obviously got to feed your kids, but pretty much everything else can become second to you actually driving your business. Now, that's a big commitment. That's a decision you've got to make, and to make that decision, you've got to have confidence. And the reality is that very few people have that confidence to make that sort of commitment from the day they join. If they just have a look at the opportunity, they go, oh, that looks like a great opportunity. Hey, I'm going to make a 12-month commitment. The reality is very few people are able to do that. But the reality is that when you know the skills, that's how you build your confidence to make that decision. And so before the momentum period, we need a period called the foundation. And the foundation is very simply where you learn the skills. So what we call a serious person is someone who's made an informed decision that they will invest the time, effort, and money required to master the skills and build their confidence and take the action necessary working in a coaching environment. That's a long sentence, but all it means is that you're prepared to make the investment of mainly time and effort to master the skills, because that's the key to the confidence. And so what is the purpose of sponsoring? Well, it's simply to find serious people. But what we know is that very few people are prepared to commit to being serious about the business off just a simple presentation and signing an application form, or maybe you've used a product. You actually need to know what you're getting into, and you'll only know that after discovering it. And that's why I created the concept of the discovery, because I know that people need that time to make that decision without the pressure of saying, hey, I'm either going to succeed or fail. It's just, hey, why don't you come and discover the business? So the purpose of sponsoring is simply to find serious people who will invest in learning the skills to build their confidence with coaching. Everyone needs coaching to create momentum. And because discovery sponsoring is designed to do that, that's why it works. It produces what the system works. And it also works because everyone can help people discover. We're not asking you to say, okay, you're able to coach and develop an organization. That development side of networking can come later, and you have the support of your upline to be able to do that when you found a serious person. Now, the fact is that sponsoring is just about helping someone go through the discovery process and discovering whether they want to do it. And everyone can learn how to do this. This program will teach you how to do it. That's why people love it. And because people can learn how to sponsor business builders, that's why everyone can create momentum. And that's why this business works. That's why this business will last. That's why I'm so excited for you. Because when we think about sponsoring, it's finding those people with the need, connecting them with our opportunity, and then simply saying, okay, now join and help them discover if we have the solution that they are looking for. And I find it so simple when they put it like that. It's just, okay, you've got the need, we've got the opportunity. Do they connect? Great. Okay, well, really, for you to be serious, what you need to do is to discover, you join, go through the discovery period. If it's for you, fantastic. If it's not, it doesn't matter. And that's the whole discovery sponsoring process. In the old days, we used to sort of stop when someone signed an application form. Now we know that because the purpose is finding whether someone is serious, that's how it works. Okay, and this works because of fundamental principles. Success requires a momentum commitment, and only a few people have that when they join. And this is especially true for women who've got to have this retail credibility. And I talk a lot about that in the program because it is a major issue. If you turn around to women know this, and just force them to just do the business, you will always have problems because fundamental to the feminine culture, they've got to have this retail credibility, and so the discovery sponsoring process works with that. And lastly, few can make that informed decision whether they want to do the work on simply joining. They just have to go through this discovery sponsoring process. And when we look at the pipeline, as you can see on the right hand side, you've got success and foundation are sort of the same size because everyone can learn the skills. So fundamentally, they should be the same amount of people who go into the foundation should succeed. It never works like that, but it should be pretty close. But to get people, to find those serious people, you need a lot of people in the discovery, okay? Because some will do it, some won't, but a lot won't. And it doesn't matter because there's no pressure. They haven't essentially, if you ask me, they haven't really joined the business until they go, yep, I'm prepared to do it. Now, to get them to discovery, we need to what I call consult, okay? And consult means that you discuss with them the opportunity, and before that, we need to connect with people. Now, traditionally, we used to call these prospect and present. And to me, those are old terms, 21st century terms, with actually some really different thinking about how these things work, okay? Is connect and consult. And what you'll learn is how different they are. In today's society, we just want to connect. We want to be open. We want to be proud. We want to be honest. We want to be effective in connecting with as many people as possibly can and going back to them. And that's a concept which those people that have been in the business is going to be blown away when they understand how that works. So we connect with lots of people. That allows us then to consult with lots of people rather than present. We want to consult with them, find out whether they want to do the discovery, and then go to foundation. And so the sponsoring is really like a cycle where we connect with people, as we said, we consult with them, and then we what's called clarify, okay? And the clarification then takes us on to coaching. So let's look at the connection stage, okay? The step that says that this is the skill of finding a constant stream of prospects to an opportunity discussion. Okay, so what we want to do is to get as many people to that discussion about the opportunity, okay, that consult stage. Now, to connect with people, what we're saying is that the key is having confidence with discovery. A lot of people wonder why people don't talk to their friends and family and the people that they meet. You know, they're going, hey, what's wrong with these people? Well, you ask people, how many people would you talk to if you knew you could succeed? They go, well, I talk to everyone. And you go, okay, so we just need to help you understand that you can be successful. But what most people think, oh, well, to be successful, I need to know that they're going to be successful in the whole business. And that's not true. All they need to know is that they can help that person make that decision. Do they want to be serious or not? With a no obligation, no commitment decision. If you want to be involved, great. If you don't, then that's also great. And the point is when people get that, they have the confidence, I can do this, I can talk to my warm market, I can talk to everyone, because I know that I can help those people go through this simple sponsoring process. So step one, when we're connecting with people, that's what we need to do. And fundamental to that is what I call the buzz. And I talk a lot about buzz lines because that's how we market to the public. That's how everyone markets to the public. And I'll teach you about what Apple does and all that sort of stuff in a second. It's the key to making it happen. And so long as we're open and excited, then that's the way we communicate with people. If you try any other way, it just seems contrived. You scare, you're salesy, you scare your friends and family, and they'll try and save you from the business. Okay? The key thing to just be clear about is that our business works because when we think about what's your market, we focus on the warm market. And these are people that we have relationships and trust to. There's your close friends and family, there's the people that you interact with, there's the people that you've known, and the people that you meet. Okay? Which, when you add those to the referrals, most people can't do referrals because they don't know how to do them. I'll teach you everything about how to get referrals. There are 4 different ways that you can do it. But when you add up your whole warm market, there's 500 people. And what happens is that because people don't understand how many people there are, and because they don't understand how to approach them, they go, oh, I've run out of people, or I've talked to my people and it doesn't work, and they just don't know what they're doing. The fact is, guys, is that experts say you have lots more than 500, but you do. So the sheer fact that you know, all the research that I've done, everyone agrees that there's at least 500, where some of you have thousands of people in your warm market. The key thing is to understand, what are we going to do with them? And the key thing to understand here, and this is where so many people get network marketing wrong, is when you ask the question, how many times can you approach your warm market? People go, well, I don't know. And I go, well, the way you currently approach it is that you can only approach it once. That's why people say, oh, I burnt through my warm market, I can't talk back to them. And all they're telling me is that they don't understand what they're talking about. Because when we think about modern marketing, what's the most successful marketing company in the world? The answer is Apple computers. And I love that things think differently, because I want you to think differently. Because when you look at Apple, they've got this huge range of different iPods, iPads, iTouches, and iMacs, and all that sort of stuff. They have a huge range of products that sit on their websites and in their shops, okay, or other department stores. But what they do, they understand the way you buy. And what they do is they create what's called buzz, okay? And they go buzz, 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 and so everyone looks at Apple. It's even on TV. You know, they launch a product, it's on the news. Okay, that's how good they are. And so what they do is they go, at the moment it's iPhone 5, okay? So it's iPhone 5, iPhone 5, iPhone 5, iPhone 5. And everyone has a look at the buzz iPhone 5. And even if they don't want an iPhone 5, they'll still have a look at our Apple products, okay? 3 months later, they'll go iPad mini, iPad mini, iPad mini. 3 months later, they'll go iMac this or iTunes that. Do you all understand that? Is they create the buzz which captures your attention, which means you'll have a look at it. And that's what we do in the business, okay? We don't go to our friends and family and go, oh, we've got this solid company with these amazing products and a system that everyone can work and you've got to have a look at it. Why? Because that's like talking about the workings within Apple. No one cares. What people want to hear about is, what is the buzz? What's your new hot product? What's your new stories? Where are you going? What are you doing? Tell me an exciting story. And that's what you do. The way you're meant to be marketing is that every 3 to 4 months you change your buzz line. The top leaders change the buzz line. Everyone uses it, and you call your warm market, which is 500 people. That's why when people tell me, oh, I don't have anyone to talk to, what a load of garbage, okay? You've got so many people, you probably won't get through your list in the period that it takes to call your warm market. And I know a lot of people will be looking at this going, really? Because that's not the way most people do it. And that's why they don't have leads. That's why they don't have people to talk to, because they don't understand how marketing works in the 21st century. Because then all we do is we just connect with people. Okay, so what you're doing at this first stage is you're connecting with people. Okay, you've got all these different ways of building these lists, getting your leads, then you talk to them. Okay, I'll teach you how to do that formally, but basically all you're going to say to people is just, hey, you know, we've got this amazing new product and I'm just so excited about it, and it's making, it means that my business is going to be rocking. You know, what are you doing? Do you want to have a look? Maybe for you. Who knows? You don't do any salesy thing. Either they're going to be excited about it or not. And if they don't want to, you know, you're either going to get a never, okay, and if they never want to do it, you never approach them again. You just ask for referrals. Or they're going to say, yes, that's great, take it to the next stage. Or they're going to say no. And say no, you just go, okay, that's cool. That's cool. You learn some information from them and you just say, hey, look, I'll give you, if we've got anything else that's really new and exciting, I'll give you a call. Because that's all you're doing. You're telling them new, exciting, business booming. Simple. That's the way marketing works with consumer products these days. Have a look at every company. It's what they do. And so what happens is that if they say yes, so that's stage one. Step two is if they say yes, you have what's I call the consult. And that's just a skill of matching the prospect's need to the opportunity. And a lot of people get this wrong, okay? It's what I call a latte chat. Sit down with a cup of latte or a tea or whatever you want to drink and just have a chat about their needs and your opportunity. That, you know, when people use the term present, what they don't understand is the word present means that it's a one-way presentation, okay? It also means that you're an expert. And obviously for new people or underconfident people, they go, oh, I can't do that. So the whole process is held up by one word, and it's not about that. It's not just a two-way conversation. The sort of, you don't actually want to do much talking yourself. Okay, you want them to do the talking so you can find their need. Okay, and have a simple explanation of the business that doesn't look too salesy. You don't pull out a big flip chart, and okay, if you can use a tool, that's even better. The point is that they normally don't need a lot of information because you're only asking them to discover. You're not asking them to give you their firstborn child or to commit to, you know, their life to the process. It's just, do you want to take the next stage? And so the third step, is called clarification, and that's the skill of gaining a decision to discover. And I separate it out. Okay, some people used to call this closing, and I hate that term. We are not closing. You are just clarifying whether they want to do it or not. Do you want to discover whether this business is right for you? It could transform your life. And people were going, hey, what's the risk? And well, if nearly every network marketing company I know of in the world, if you actually looked at the financial risk, you would see it would be tiny. People go, oh, but it's $1,000. You go, yeah, but what's the guarantee given by the company? Well, it's 100% for the first 60 days. So what's the financial risk? It's zero. Exactly. So, oh, shock and horror. You're going to ask the person to take no risk. What's happened in people's minds? They've gone, oh, they look at the figure without the risk. The risk is zero or $100 or nothing. You're talking about transforming someone's life. They've either got the need that you may have the solution, and we're talking to transform their life, or not. I put this as a step on its own because it's all part of the follow-up. What people need to understand is that people really make a decision first up. So, a lot of people, you've got to come back to them. You just connect with them. You follow up and connect with them. And some people will join after 2 or 3 connections, and some people will take you 9 months. Some of the most successful people in the business have taken like 9 months. Just keep that connection going, and they've gone, okay, yeah, sure. Okay, I'll take it to the next stage. And the next stage is simply they join the business. And what happens is they go through what we call the discovery stage, where they do what's called the checklist, okay? And the checklist is a concept where we just look at what they need to know and understand so they can make an informed decision. So they build their confidence from understanding what's happened, and they make an informed decision, okay? The point here is that they follow the normal system that you have, okay? So whatever you currently do, you follow that. The only difference is you just coach them, okay, on the checklist. Now the discovery part, this discovery stage should be up to 30 days. It's not 90 days, okay? It's like 30 days. Because that's how long it takes for someone to understand enough to make a decision. They don't have to master it, they just have to understand enough. And you're going to either coach or you're going to support the coaching of someone else, because the people need help to do the checklist. Okay? So the checklist is just a whole lot of questions that we just want people to answer. And what we do is we help them understand, what level they are up to what we call 100%. So you'll see on this is this is the checklist sheet, which you can download. It's just beneath the video. Okay, you can download this, and then what happens is that you just sit down with a person. I don't know whether you can see this. So on the 4th of July, someone sat down with Ed Ludbrook, and they said, hey, do you understand the discovery process? And we agreed that I was 9 out of 10. What about the future, confidence about the future of this business? I said I was a 10 out of 20. What about knowing the basics? 5 out of 20. What about understanding the support you're going to receive? 5 out of 20. Do you see what I mean? You just go through, you add it up, and then you mark it. And what it allows you to do is allows you to measure the confidence of people. Because when people are new in the business, the only important thing is confidence. Because confidence is the key to motivation, and confidence is the key to action. And confidence is the thing that people are looking at in your eyes when you're talking about the business. Okay? And so when we look at the checklist, the whole idea here is just to be confident that you know what's required. Okay? And so you just go through, do you have confidence in the future? And I'm not going to spend any time here. I go through this in detail, but do you believe that your products will sell now in the future? Do you believe that the business of network marketing will grow rapidly in the foreseeable future? Is your company strong to succeed in the future? Do you have an effective network system? Do you Do you have effective leadership to support your growth? And so the organization needs to provide the information so someone goes, yes, 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 and then you can score the points higher, okay? Because they're more confident. It's like the basics. What about the system? Do you know how to get customers? Sponsor people, coaching, self-leadership. Same thing. We just go through, do you know, do you know, do you know? Okay? Then it comes support confidence. Are you confident that people will coach you? Are you confident that you have a system that will support what you're doing? What about your motivation? Okay? Do you understand the negative and positive motivation? We cover that in the program. Okay? And what about developing of confidence? And lastly, okay, even if you're confident and motivated to succeed, okay, if you like what you see and you think you can do it, the question is, are you prepared to do it? Are you prepared to put the time in? Because that's the issue. Some people may say, oh, I can do this. But hey, are you prepared to do what's required? And then, so we use the checklist. Okay, so you have the blank checklist. And then what happens is that you would just fill it out with all new people. Okay? And that's the way it works. And look, this is me saying, okay, I'm 100% and I'm going for it because I'm confident, so I'm motivated, so I'm serious about the business. And by knowing you can go through the checklist, you know that they can too, so sponsoring is easy. Do you get that? So by knowing you can go through the checklist, you know that others can too. So suddenly people realize that sponsoring is easy. And that's the key, guys. All I want you to do now is to go through the checklist until you're 100%. And I guarantee you that so many people do not, when they're honest with themselves, do not get a high score. And then it's really simple. I say to them, well, hey, how do you expect to have a lot of confidence in sponsoring if you don't have a lot of confidence in the business? And then it's a matter. You're so clear. You can be focused. You need information on this, 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 and this. You know how to deal with your upline, so the coaching relationship with your upline and sponsor is so easy. And just like it will be for you to be able to deal with people in your team. Do you like that? I think it's such a cool idea. I'm very proud that I invented it, but I'm also excited because I've worked with a lot of people on this checklist because they are finding that it really works for you, for them, and it'll work for you as well. And that's why I know that you can do this. I know that you can master it. You're going to have to learn some stuff, okay? But you will be able to master it. And it's just like everyone who joins your team. They can master the knowledge as well because they can go on the program. Don't ever think, you can't teach them, okay? I hear people, I'm going to learn this information and then teach their people. Forget about it. No one's ever been able to do that because there's too much to learn. But that's not the point. They need to come on. They need to watch the videos. They need to understand it. But the key to this is that when they know it, they'll be able to do it. And it means that they will be able to be successful in the business. So this has been a long training. The reason why it is because I wanted you to understand this. Because all the rest of the training program will just simply teach you the detail of what you've learned here. I hope this has been valuable. Rock and roll. Download the checklist and do it with your upline. This is the way you really master how to do it. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.